What's up, Ramley? You are now in the kitchen with Chef Nixon for all your fixings for the latest and greatest of VCU men's basketball. So, first game of the season, new coach, new players at the Stew, sold out arena versus McNeese State. How did it go? Let's check it out. Let's get into it. All right, so like I said, this is the first game of the season. McNeese State comes into town, new coach as well, a familiar coach, might I add, Will Wade. But there's no Will Wade in the building. Will Wade is suspended and is not allowed to coach for the first 10 games of the season uh, due to strong offers. Uh, Now he relinquished his throne, I guess you could say, to a former VCU manager, Brandon Chambers. Uh, and they come in here with 11 new players. Uh, so there's not a lot of film on McNeese State. They were a late add to the schedule. They have experienced players, and we don't. uh, so I think let's start with this. There's two things we know about Will Wade off the jump. Granted, he can't be on the sideline, but leading up to this game, there's two things we know. Uh, Number one, Will Wade is a excellent recruiter. Excellent. Some of your favorite Rams are recruited by Will Wade. Secondly, we know that Will Wade is a X's and O's guy. I've told many people before I never went into when I was being coached by Will Wade. I never went into a game when he had the scout not being prepared for what we were about to step into. Uh, every player was laid out perfectly. Um, the schemes of the teams were laid out perfectly. So he really knows the game. So that's two things we know, along with them being very experienced. They're led by a guy who's actually who's on his third transfer, uh, and he's projected to be a first team in their conference. Kristen Shoemate. He averaged 15 points and basically 10 rebounds, 9.7, but 10 rebounds a game last year. Um, and he's looking to do that again this year. So they're coming in and they're ready. If I don't know if you guys missed it, but me, Robbie, and Rodney had a lunch uh, pregame chat, and some people may have thought that McNeese State was going to be some cheeks. I did not, um, for the simple things I already listed, and they have a lot of older guys, experienced guys. Um, so let's get on to VCU. VCU very similar to McNeese State. New coach, a lot of new guys. The difference, McNeese State guys, majority of their guys are guys who have played and produced at other programs. Now, of course, we have Max Shoga. Uh, we have Sean Barstow, who's out injured 6 to 8 weeks with a Jones fracture in his foot. We have Kwani from California. Uh, and those are three guys that really have experience, right? I would say. I guess you can add Jay Nelson in there as well. Um, but all this is going to be relatively new for all these guys outside of Sean. Um, and I knew coming into this game that we were going to have our struggles. For one, new coach, lack of experience. Think about this: Toby Wall, Fats, Billups, Roosevelt. All four of those guys played last year, but didn't play last year. You feel me? They played last year, but they didn't play last year. And Zeb Jackson played a lot last year, but he wasn't the focal point. You know what I mean? Like especially with Sean Barrett still being out. Max and Zeb are going to be the guys. Um, and they will go as those two go. Um, so we had a lot to look forward to. We have a packed out arena. We have a new coach staff, new players. Everybody's excited. How are we going to do tonight? Let's talk about it. First, let's start with the star lineup. Got Max at the 1. Like it. Zeb at the 2. Like it. Kwani. They had him at the 4. Michael Bell at the 3. So another one, Michael Bell. Another guy, not a lot. He's a rookie. He's a freshman. And then Christian Furman. Now, before we get started, I want to ask you this. Who would you think, if you didn't know anything, who would you think would be our starting 5? Christian Furman, for the Ramleys who were here last year. You've seen him a little. So Christian Furman or a transfer from Louisville. Who would you think? Now think about why that is. And think about what you've seen tonight. I'm going to let you guys diagnose that. So now let's get into this first half. The first half, I think for the first 2 minutes we come out, we look good. Uh, we're sharing the ball, pushing the pace. But then it got super ugly like Jay-Z. If you haven't heard that, it's a diss track by Jay-Z to Nas. And it was absolutely disgusting. Um, and that's exactly what VCU's offense was. Shoot, and defense, for real. We looked a mess. Now, part of that was to be expected due to the fact that we have a new team. We have a new coach. We have a new system. We have guys who haven't had a lot of playing time. Now they're going to get playing time. We had guys who had a small role who now have bigger roles. So it's to be expected a little bit. However, the first half, the offense looked extremely stagnant. A lot of ball stopping, a lot of ball watching, ton of ill-advised threes, limited drives to the basket, and that created ugliness. I mean, let's start with let's start with the ill-advised threes first and foremost. Um, Now I know Coach Odo wants to have a high-powered offense. I know he wants to get the shots up quickly. However, I think that we could have did a better job of passing or driving, touching the paint first, and then kicking it out for threes. Um, there's a lot of times where the ball would just go around the perimeter. A dribble here, kick out. A dribble here, kick out. No real deep penetration, 2 feet in the paint, and then kicking out. And when we did get 2 feet in the paint, we had drop offs and wide open threes, opposed to We got great shots composed to okay shots. When we didn't distribute the ball or drive into the paint, we got okay shots, and we were not hitting these okay shots. We need to put our head down. We need to get some ball move. We need to get some player movement to break their defense up and get into the paint and create shots for each other, or really put some pressure on the rim. I thought that Max did a really good job of getting into the paint, dropping it off to Toby the Wall. They seem to have a really good connection. I want to see them build on that. Um, I thought Zeb did a good job at times getting into the paint, but the first half I thought that he was too lackadaisical with the ball and fighting what he does best. Granted, I know that Zeb has been putting in tremendous amount of work on his three ball, and he shot the ball extremely well in the exhibition. However, don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. Wonderful phrase by TLC. Babyface probably wrote it. If anything Baby says, I believe it. Zeb Jackson is a attacker, a slasher at heart, right? He has the ability to shoot threes, but he's a slasher at heart. And when he does that, he can get to the paint. There's not a lot of people who can stay in front of him. He can put pressure on the rim to score for himself, or he can get pressure to make the defense collapse and create for others. He's a very talented passer. I always say, even last year, Ace was a great passer, but I didn't think that Zeb was too far behind him. I thought Zeb did a really good job. However, Ace just had a better understanding of the game. Um, so there's that. A lot of ball watching. Sometimes we would have the ball on the left side of the court, excuse me, on the left side of the court. And then on the back side, we just have three guys just standing and watching, standing and watching, standing and watching, standing and watching, which made it very easy to guard. Um, and then when there was no pressure on the rim, it just looked like bad offense. Now, again, this is a new system, new concepts for guys. It's going to take some time to get used to, and I understand that. I do understand that. I'm not just trying to harp on all the bad things, but there was a ton of bad things that happened in this game. Um, and offensively, I'm actually, we did a lot of good. We did a lot of good. But it was just a lot of bad, and the bad when you're down always looks extra bad. Uh, but my biggest issue, and if you know me, you know what I'm gonna say. Defense. The defense just looked horrible. Horrible. Lack of rotations, late rotations, lack of intensity. Uh, couldn't keep anybody in front. Allowed these state players to get very comfortable. Once they got very comfortable, they had the confidence. They thought they could win the game, and they sure enough played like it. Um, and when you're playing a team coming into your house, first game of the season, or any game of the season, your VCU, you're no longer this small mid major that people don't care about. Your VCU, you got a target on your back. You can't come out like that defensively, because if you give somebody hope like that, and mind you, these are guys that Will Wade went and got. 11 new guys on the roster. I can't stress this enough. Will Wade is not bringing no garbage no matter where he is. For all we know, those all 11 of them could be millionaires right now. You know what I mean? Will Wade is not bringing no garbage to wherever he is. So you let these guys get hot, and they ran it up. They ran it up. We allowed them to get comfortable. They got a rhythm, and they lit it up to the point where sometimes we would play decent defense, and it just wasn't enough because they were already rolling. You know what I mean? You got to stomp somebody out before they get. You know what I mean? You don't want to give anybody any hope or any idea that they can play with you or they can stick with you, because if you do, you may be in for some trouble. And we were in for some trouble. Getting down by 20 points on opening night to a team that is in the same conference as Houston Christian College. What? Down 20 on your home court while the team's being coached by Brandon Chambers. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Now, what I did see, VCU did fight. They had some fight in them. They cut that 20-point lead to a 12-point lead with opportunity to cut it down to 10 or 9 by half. However, we went to the half down 12. Second half comes around. If you know college basketball, you know what you got to do if you're down or if you really want to pull away from somebody. But especially if you're down, you have to have a monster first 5 minutes. We did not have a monster first 5 minutes, but it wasn't horrible. I thought that we did a lot of good things. We were able to come out. We executed a great play out of the half to get Max a shot. He knocks it down. And I believe Zeb comes down and finds Fats in the corner for a three. So we ran some really good offense to right out the gate. But there's certain things. Well, first let me say this: the intensity was a lot better. The intensity was a lot better. You looked as if you were desperate, right? That can't be. That cannot be. This is how I play when I get down. That has to be. This is how I play. You can't come with a half behind effort because now we see that you can play harder on defense, right? But even with that, we had way too many mental breakdowns on the defensive end in the second half as well. The intensity, the want to, the fight was all there. It was all there. But there was too many breakdowns defensively for you to be down by 20 and mount a comeback. It's just basketball guys don't work like that. They just don't. You're not gonna see it now. In an NBA game, you might see somebody getting beat by 25 in the first quarter, and they'll come back and win the game by 10. In college, not so much. You ain't gonna see that too much. You're not. Some people can come back, make it interesting. They're gonna make it interesting for a little bit. They might get it to 6, but usually that team pulls out and they have like a 12-point win. So defensive intensity was better. Lack of discipline defensively was gone. Lack of continuity on the offensive end. We would have times where we would try to get it all back in one play. And granted, I know you want to win. I know you want to win. I got, Zeb. Zeb is my guy. Great guy. Great kid. Super talented. I think he's going to set the world ablaze this year. 12 threes by Zeb Jackson is not a good thing. 12. That's a ton. And like I said, he's capable of knocking down threes. But he's not JJ Redick. He's not B.A. Walker. He's not Troy Daniels. He's too talented in other areas of his game to settle for those many threes. And I get it. You put in your hard work. You can knock some threes out, but understand some transition threes. I think we should have pushed it. Get an easy one. We have them reeling. Now, if you make it, woo! But if you miss it, now they're off and running, right? So listen. We gotta get to that paint more. One thing I really don't like is the fact that we don't have any low post presence on the offensive end. I didn't see not one post up this whole game, not one. Now I seen people digging in like they wanted to post up, but they weren't getting the ball. What does that mean? What's that about? You got to have, listen, VCU success has always had somebody down there to get the easy ones. You got to have somebody. Roosevelt, Furman, one of y'all, one of you has to put the big boy pants on and be able to show in practice, show your teammates and show the coaches in practice that they can throw the ball down there to you to get the easy ones. Just a quick one dribble hook shot. They have to trust you. Your teammates have to trust you. Your coaches have to trust you that when you fight for that position, you'll get the ball. But apparently, that can't be the case because we didn't post up one time. And if we did post up, it was because the ball, we almost turned it over and the ball landed in your hands and you had to pick it up and just going from there. So that is if we can't throw the ball down low, we're gonna have tough we're gonna have a lot of rough patches in the offense, especially when our shots aren't falling, because everything's gonna be a jump shot, apparently. And we have that's why it's even more important, I think, that Zeb has to get to the rim. Max and Zeb really have to get to the rim. When Sean comes back, he has the game where he'll do a little post up on smaller guards. He'll take that little mid range shot. You guys will see. But as of right now, it is imperative to put pressure on the rim from the guard spot, especially if we don't have a post up guy. We can't sit and shoot threes and 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 threes. We can't do it. It's not gonna work. It ain't. Oh, you live by the three, die by the three. That's what everybody says, right? Only people that live by it and live by it is Golden State, and they have two of the best shooters of all time in basketball history on their team, right? So also, I mean, now I don't know. This could be a coaching thing. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I may not know. I mean, I definitely have to ask. How many middle drives did you all see? Any middle drives? We did a really good job of swinging the ball, right? But I felt as if every time we swung it, we drove baseline, 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 baseline. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it wouldn't. But I am of the belief, and like I said, I hope this isn't. Well, I can say hope it isn't, because if it is, I still have unwavering faith in Coach Odom. I think he can get it done. Um, but getting into the middle, driving middle, has worked for us over the years and has killed us over the years too. It's been one of the biggest defensive philosophies, one of the biggest staples in defensive philosophy for years now. Because once you drive the middle, the whole defense has to collapse. And if they don't, you're gonna get all the way to the cup. You're gonna get an open shot. But if they do, everybody's open. I didn't see a lot of middle drives. I mean, you seen Zeb sometimes, but I think we could have did that more. I think we could have put a little bit more pressure on the defense if we would have stressed getting into the middle of the paint. And that doesn't mean necessarily drive, because McNeese State did a really good job with their zone, right? It seemed to be really high and bunched up. Um, so the middle pass, the pass to the middle was taken away sometimes, and sometimes I felt like we just missed it. And Furman, Kwani, Roosevelt, Mike Bell, anybody that's in that position, if you catch that ball in the middle, it has to be a split decision whether you're going to attack or you're taking that ball and you're reversing it to the other side. It cannot be uh huh, uh huh, pass. The defense has now shifted and recovered. The advantage you had is now lost. I've seen that a couple of times today. If you're in the zone, you catch it, either rip to the score or swing that, you know what I'm saying? Swing it. Get to the other side. The other man, the opposite wing is going to be open. And I also felt like this zone gave up a lot of wide open shots in the corner. We have to knock those down. We got to knock those down. It's the shortest three, and they're wide open. Minimal contest. You got to knock them down. You just have to. Or you have to be very creative in attack. And the player movement has to be better. And I don't want to continue to do this all year, but I am going to say this. For those who have not watched Nick Kern play, please put some tape on of Nick Kern. One of the things that make Nick Kern so great, or a good player, is his ability to move without the basketball. And I guarantee, if I go watch the Penn State game right now, I guarantee I'm going to see Nick Kern getting the bucket off just his movement. And like I said earlier, I thought we had too many guys ball watching on the offensive end. No movement on the backside. We got to figure that out. We got to figure that out. But VCU fought hard. We just lacked a little bit of defense. Lacked lacked a lot of defense, but lacked the discipline to mount a 20-point comeback. It's hard to do. And credit to McNeese State. Every time VCU tried to make a play, Shoemate or Wells made a play for a teammate, or made a play for themselves, or made the extra effort, got a 50-50 ball, got a steal, or something to either push the lead back out or maintain a 10-point lead. McNeese State came to play. They played well. They played like a mature team. I still think we should have dubbed them boys. But as far as talent wise, we should have dubbed them boys. But understand that this is all new. Every aspect of the program is new. There's nothing really familiar about anything that's going on right now. So it's new to the guys. It's new for the coach staff to teach these guys this, and it's new for a fan experience. So understand what's going on. But McNeese State pulled off the upset, 76-65 over VCU. McNeese State was led by Shahada Wells, 23 points, 4 assists, and Christian Shoemate, who had 18 points, 13 rebounds. Really played extremely well in the second half, and really was one of the main reasons they were able to maintain that lead. VCU played very, very a lot better in the second half. I think we put up 35 points. Shots were falling, but yeah, they both made really convenient, timely plays for their team. For VCU, Max Shoga, 22 points, 4 assists, really shot the ball well. Zeb Jackson, 14 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Really, really good performance. I just wish that he would minimize, like 5 threes a game. Zeb, good. 12, hell no. Just no. You can shoot it, but your best attributes are getting to the cup and creating for others and creating for yourself. Getting to the free throw line. You're an excellent free throw shooter. Put the pressure on the referees. Put the pressure on the rim. Attack. Now, I know I said a lot of negatives. Let's get to some of these positives. This loss is going to look really, really bad. However, it's not too shocking. It's not too shocking. We're talking about a team that has a ton of playing experience and a team that does not have a ton of playing experience. And if Sean was there, I do believe the game looks a lot different. I really do. Um, and check this out. We out rebounded them. Won that battle by two, 36-34. We had more assists than them, 17-11. We had more blocks than them, 9-1. We shot better from the free throw line than them, 72% to 61%, something like that. Christian Furman, showed that he's the starter. He's the starter in this team. He showed a little fight. He showed the ability to get his hands on the basketball, get some putbacks, and contest a lot. Like he did. He played. Christian Furman played very well to me, in my eyes. It may not all show up in the stat sheet in the box score, but he played extremely well to me, and I want to see him continue to get better and continue to make strides. And he needs to be Christian. Work on one move. Work on one move. Get one signature move over your. If it's going to be the hook over your left shoulder, work on one move. Get that thing down pat, brother, because we are going to need you this season. We're going to need you this season. Defensively and offensively, we're going to need that easy two. Just that one dribble left, drop step back, over the left shoulder. If you master that, you help your team tremendously. Secondly, Matt Shoga looks as good as advertised. Now it's going to take some getting used to really get used to his game. He's a really I want to walk the ball up kind of guy. And oh my goodness, James Madison is about to beat Michigan State. We having a bad night. I don't think we having that bad of a night. Well, actually, James Madison might be that good. But anyway, Shoga looks really good. Mad Max looks really good. I like his poise. I like how he gets to the paint. Like I said, him and Toby have a good connection, and I think that's going to excel. I also think that Toby had more to show in this game, but you have to get some game experience shooting that thing and doing what he's been working on, and it can't be in a game like this where you're getting smacked and you just got to get back into it. You got to fight. You got to do what you're really comfortable with doing. So I think Toby does have a little more to offer than what he did, even though I thought he played pretty decent as well. Another thing, we found our three ball in the second half. We knocked down the threes we were supposed to knock down, and it was a collective attack. Zeb Jackson, Max, Billups, and I also think Michael Bell is gonna be really nice. He's gonna be really nice. But we got a lot of things. We still do have a lot of things to work on. We have a lot of things to work on. But if we can get these things down pat, like even our turnovers, we only had 14 turnovers. It seemed like we had so much more, but they were just so much at an inconvenient time, and they're going to be at an inconvenient time when you're down by 20. It's just everything's going to look inconvenient. But the good thing is, with a loss like this, we get to see what we're made of. Are the guys going to become deflated, disperse, separate, point the finger? Or are they going to do this? Come together. Learn from this. Fight. Go on a win streak. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. But you really have to focus and lock in practice. You can't have a practice where Monday you're like this, Tuesday you're like this, Wednesday you're here. You can't have that. It has to be every day. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So moving forward, VCU will face Samford this Friday. I will be calling that game. Make sure you come out, show me some support. I show you love. You show me love. Playing Samford, who just got smacked by 50 by Purdue. So it's an opportunity to bounce back, play inspired basketball, learn from our mistakes, tidy up some of the things that we have control over. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't control whether the ball goes in the basket. You know, you make some, you miss some. But defensively, our intensity, our our attention to detail, those things are something that we can truly work on. Those things are something that would contribute to helping us win, and we have to get that uh, a lot better before we head down to Orlando. Just keeping it in the band. Um, so yeah, man. Like I always say, never quit. Stay humble. Peace.